Guten Erev Shabbos, everybody. Ephraim Schwartz here from Carmiel Chodesh Adar Tov Adar Sheni Tov Misha Nichnas Adar Marbin Besimcha Chodesh Adar Sheni. We get double the Simcha, a special month, a special Chodesh. And before we get started, I want to thank my dear friends from Detroit, Rafi and Sherry Zuroff, on sponsoring this week's video and email this week, in Kodem Kol, in memory of their Rafi's parents, Avram ben Shlomo, and his mother Zahava ben Bas Mordechai. The Zuroffs, or Dr. Zuroff, was a very, very special person in Detroit. Anybody that ever needed a root canal knew Dr. Zuroff and Mrs. Zuroff. They raised millions of dollars for tzedakah. They were people that were given to their community, to helping out Torah, to supporting, and they have wonderful children and Einiklach, and they should certainly be a Melitz Yosher, as I'm sure, for their family. As well, it's in Schus, and it should be a merit for all of those in Yidden that are in Ukraine right now, that are in a terrible war. And Hashem should save all of them and bring them all out and bring all of us to the Geula Shalema. Thank you, Rafi, and everybody could sponsor these videos. Share the Torah as well. Chodesh Adar, we're looking for sponsors. It's Mashmian Al Hashkolim, and you can join. You can sponsor the weekly email, the weekly statuses, the YouTube. Just shoot me off a message and be part of the merit of sharing our wonderful Torah. And today I have something special for you because it's Chodesh Adar, and we're going to give you a little bit of a window into Ephraim Schwartz's mind. I had a very busy week. Baruch Hashem was in Yerushalayim all week long, and I had tourists all week long, and Baruch Hashem, they're continuing. People are calling and calling for Pesach, and I've been swamped, and that means that I don't have chance to go ahead and to work on my drushes, work on my email, this and that. So Friday morning is when I usually sit down and do that, and this morning I had an incredible idea. It's not worked out yet. You know, Mishnichnas Adar Marbin Besimcha, and Nichnas Yayin Yotza Sod, the secrets come out. And I'm going to share with you at least some of my thoughts. I don't know, we'll see if we can put it all together this morning, but this is the direction I'm going because I saw such a powerful word. And maybe it's the influence also this week that I was in Shiloh, and the place where the Mishkan was. And I'm going to share with you at least some of the thoughts that are running through my mind, and we'll see if it makes sense at the end of this video, but just some powerful ideas. And it really all started from an idea that I shared this morning at our minyan, that we say that the Gemara in the Yerushalmi tells us that the holiday of Purim took place in the second Adar, the Adar Sheni, in that year. And the Gemara, the source for that pasuk is that it was b'chodesh shtemesrei, b'chodesh l'chodesh, b'chodesh shtemesrei hu chodesh Adar, right? That it took place in the 12th month, which is the chodesh Adar. Now, if it's the 12th month, then we're in the 13th month right now. But then again, if it's the 12th month, why is it redundant in saying it's chodesh Adar? So the Mefarshim explained, the Karban Ha'eda explains, chodesh shtemesrei is normally mechodesh l'chodesh, it's the 12 months. But now we're in the 13th month, hu chodesh Adar, that there's an extra month of Adar. And in fact, we're told that all 12 months are under the astrological signs. They're mazel, right? But Chodesh Adar Sheni is the 13th month. It's not under the 12 astrological signs of the zodiac, and it's Lamaila min Hamazel. And that's why it's such a happy month, because we can go burst through everything. And I saw a beautiful remez, and this is where the whole thing really starts, from the Belzer Rebbe. He brings down that it says in the pasuk, Ki lule hisma'amanu, right? Ki ata shavnu ze pa'amayim. Right? So we're told this pasuk is a very strange, interesting pasuk. It's when Yehuda is trying to convince Yaakov to send Binyamin with him down to Mitzrayim to go get food from Yosef HaTzadik. And he's trying to convince him. He says, Ki lule hismahamanu, because if we haven't delayed until now, Ki ata shavnu ze pa'amayim, by now we could have returned already twice. Zok the Belzer Rebbe, he says, you know what Adar Sheni is all about? It's the month of tshuva, the second chance of tshuva. See, Elul, we do tshuva meira, from fear of Hashem, right? We're scared of Rosh Hashanah, we're scared of Yom Kippurim, right? But in Purim, the Jews did tshuva me'ahava, from love of Hashem, from simcha, from happiness, from joy. That's how we return to Hashem. So the Belzer Rebbe says, Ki lule hismahamanu. Lule is the same words as Elul. if we messed up and we delayed and we didn't really do tshuva, right? Kishavnu ze pa'amayim. We can return ze. Ze is 12th, right? In Gematria, ze is 12. Pa'amayim is when we have a second month on that 12th, right? We have the second opportunity to do tshuva pa'amayim. That's the Belzerov's insight, and that's why the 13th month is a month for tshuva. But once I saw that idea, my brain exploded. And I said, you know what? If there's a connection to Adar Sheni and to Purim over there, maybe it's because I'm a Talmud of Rabbi David Foreman, but if there's a connection over there, then let's take a look at that whole story of Yosef and Yehuda and getting back. And sure enough, over there we find remez after remez after remez, hint and hint and hint about the story of Purim. And we're putting those ideas together, but let's just start off and think about it. We're told, why did the story of Purim take place? Why was the sin in the times of the Megillas Esther? We're told that the problem over there is that the Jewish people sat down by the feast of Achashverosh and they enjoyed from the feast of Achashverosh. Although there was one person that didn't, his name was Mordechai. Okay, interestingly enough, why did we go down to Mitzrayim? Why were we in Galus Mitzrayim? Because the brothers sold Yosef. Sinas Chinam, they hated one another. And then you know what they did after that? It wasn't just that they sat down and they realized this, the brothers. The brothers go ahead and say, you know what we did afterwards? They went ahead and they sold, after they sold Yosef, the pasuk tells us, Vayeshvu le'echol. They went and they sat down and they ate. It tells us, where's the pasuk here? It says they sent him down to Shechem. Yaakov sent him down, and they took him. Vayikhu vayishru abar vayeshvu le'echol lechem, and they sat down and they ate bread. Isn't that fascinating? We have a sin selling down Yosef to Mitzrayim, and they're sitting and they're eating in an inappropriate way. And even afterwards, what happens? They took off Yosef's clothing. Interestingly enough, in the Megillah story as well, we have Mordechai taking off his clothing as well and mourning. And Esther is trying to go ahead and send him clothing. Interesting enough, you know what Esther tells him? She wanted to know, what is this and this? Right, you know what Zeh al Zeh is? Again, the Moreh Naim says Zeh is 12 months, Va'al Zeh is another month after that, right? It is the second Adar. It is the chance to go ahead and to return, right? This is the month where Binyamin, Mordechai, who's from the tribe of Binyamin, can bring all of that back, can make all of that happen. And let's go through the Psukim with that idea in mind, that everything starts when the Jews are, as Haman said, mefuzer umefurad. They're spread out. They're divided. Yosef is not with them, right? The Jewish people are not there. Binyamin and Yosef are not connected, right? That's the story of Haman. What do we go ahead and see? Let's go back to the Psukim. Yehuda, who is the one that's going to bring Mashiach, right? What does he say? They finished eating the food that they got from Mitzrayim. You know what the food from Mitzrayim is? That's Haman. That's the food, the inappropriate food. The food that Yosef sent with them back there to bring everybody together again. That was the thing. And they finished that and they realized it. We have to have all of us together. We have to have Binyamin coming back with us. Again, Mordechai is Ish Yemini, right? Mordechai is from that man of them, and the Ish is telling us that, right? And then we could go ahead and get back together again. Right? Why did you tell him that you have a brother? Yisrael says. But Yisrael says, you know what? Don't tell them. Vayomer Shaul sha'al ha'ish lanu ulemadetenu lemor ulemoiladetenu lemor ha'id avichem hayesh lachem ach. The man asked us, where are you from? Right? Do you have a brother? Interestingly enough, what happens in the story of Purim by Mordechai? We're told that there's somebody. Mordechai tells Esther, don't tell them where you're from. Just like Israel. Don't tell them your moledet, where you're from. Whether you have any siblings, where you're coming from. See how these stories are working together again? Not us, not our children, we're all going to be wiped out, just like Haman. The story is going to be destroyed. Right? And what does Yehuda say? I will go ahead and bring them back. Anochi Arvenu, we're going to unite them. So what does he tell them? Yaakov says, okay, ki lule hismahamanu, right? This is where that pasuk comes in, right? Because if we missed out on Elul, we didn't go ahead, we had din, we were strong, we had judgment, but now we have a chance to do tshuva, to return. Yaakov Avinu says, you know what? Imkein ku mizimra sa'aretz, take what? Ma'at tzari, ma'at dvash, nochos, v'leit beit nimishkenim. Some of those words we find right over there. What happens when Yosef is in the bar? Again, we find the words. The Ishmaelim are coming. The Ishmaelites are coming. And you know what they're carrying with them? The same exact things that Yaakov's sending back. We're going to send this stuff back to Mitzrayim, but now we're going to use it not to separate the brothers, but to return the brothers, to unite the brother. And then he says, V'kesef mishneh. The Mishnah's Parshas HaKesef. Sounds familiar? The 10,000 coins of Haman later on, right? The money that you got for selling Yosef, that money was going to divide Klal Yisrael. Send it back. We're going to use it to reunite the Jewish people. And take your brother Binyamin, el ha'ish, and you will go ahead and bring it back to the ish. Do you know who the ish is? And by the way, it said that word before, and Shaul Sha'al. We have Shaul HaMelech. Interesting. You know what it tells us about Shaul HaMelech? Shaul HaMelech, the pasuk tells us, is somebody. It describes Vayish mi ben Yamin. There's a man from Ben Yamin. Ushmo Kish ben Aviel ben Sor ben Bechoros ben Aviel ben Ish Yemini Gibor v'Chayil. That's the introduction to Kish and to Shaul. Avlaya ben Ushmo Shaul Bacher Tov ve'ein Ish mi bnei Yisrael Tov mimenu Nachi v'Tov. You're going to bring Shaul HaMelech. And the story starts off with Shaul that, you know what? Shaul HaMelech lost his donkeys. A very strange story. He loses his donkeys. He's trying to find his donkeys. And then ultimately that's what brings him to Shmuel, who goes ahead and anoints him. And that returning of the lost donkeys. Interestingly enough, we're told that word donkey, who's the one that helps bring him back? We're told in the bracha of Yaakov Avinu by Yehuda. He tells Yehuda, he says to him, Lo Yosur Shevet Yehuda. Ultimately, Melech HaMashiach will come. Ad ki yavo Shiloh. When Shiloh will come, Velu yikas Amen. We have Shiloh, which is Yosef. And then first we have Yosef, and then it tells us Isiri lagefen Irai ulasarika b'nei asoinai kabes b'yayin levushay ulasarika b'nei asoinai. Right, that asoinai, that donkey. Yehuda, you're going to go ahead and bring back the donkey. You're going to tie it to you. You're the two of you, Vayigash Elav Yehuda, the two of you are going to join together. And that will go ahead and bring Yosef. That will reunite us. Adar Sheni is that month. One last gematria. But this is the idea that's fermenting, and I think it's a powerful idea. And I think you guys will all have other ideas. This will just start being Megala the Nister of Chodesh Adar. But one last idea. The gematria of Adar Sheni is none other than Mashiach ben Yosef. That's right, Mashiach ben Yosef. Let me double check that for you. But we're told that here it is, Mashiach ben Yosef is the gematria of Adar Sheni, right? This is the month when Adar Sheni, when Yosef, Mashiach ben Yosef can come, when Yehuda can reunite. It's why we're masmich, geula legeula. Yehuda, in the month of Nisan, we're told will be the ultimate redemption of Mashiach ben David from the tribe of Yehuda. But first we have an Adar Sheni where we have Mashiach ben Yosef of coming first. The return of Yosef, the return of the brothers, the Jewish people eating, drinking, feasting together. That's what will bring Mashiach. That is the month of Simcha, Amir Tzah Hashem. We should all be Zeicha to the Geula. We're in crazy times, wars, Corona, Russia, Edom, Esav. Things are happening, people, and Jews are flocking to Eretz Yisrael. Amir Tzah Hashem. We feel in our kishkas, the Geula is coming and everybody wants to be in Eretz Yisrael. Hashem should bring us a month of Simcha, of Geula, and we should be Zeicha to the Geula Hashlema this Chodesh, Eretz Hashem, Chodesh Tov. Subscribe to my weekly email, rabbischwartz@yahoo.com. Subscribe to this YouTube thing. Click on me, I'll add you a message, and of course, sponsor it. Matanes le'ev yoinim. Help us, help our shul, help our community, and we should have a fantastic month of Adar.